Hell yeah! Cheers. What's the scenic backdrop we got here? You're out on the patio?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's in my sunroom.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
Dude, it kind of looks like Sam's apartment, doesn't it? With those lights like that in the backyard or the back area.
Yeah, should I like shut those off and put on something like let me see.
I mean, they look all right.
It's not like pausing too much. Like,
I mean, it's a little fuzz, but like,
does this work better?
I mean, now
right?
you.
Yeah, I mean, you look fine.
You're in the darkness.
Okay.
Your background's just darker. I don't know. You kind of look the same.
Okay. I want the lights, actually.
You like the lights?
Whatever you guys want. I'll go with that. I'm just going in the sunroom, so like when my fiance gets home.
No, never mind. Turn them off.
They kind of look better off. They look better off.
Off? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do the like Halloween fall string lights.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Do the other ones.
No, maybe turn them back.
Fucking with me.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Barstool Breakdown, episode 49. Shout out Red October. Let's go Mets. Bing bong, Maxi. We got a great interview for you today. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you are, hit the like, drop a comment, get us in the algorithm. We appreciate all you guys out there. We got a good one today. It's Barstool's data analyst. It's Michael Greer. Let's get it.
Get sturdy as fuck. This is it.
I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on the worst nights,
all right, we're here with a very special guest. You probably know him from TMZ, but you might also know him because he's the data analysis. I might have fucked that up. Analysis?
No, perfect.
Analyst?
He's the director of data analytics
and analysis. The data and analysis at Barstool Sports. It's Michael Greer. How we doing, brother?
Hell yeah.
Doing wonderful. How are you guys?
Sorry for that Brandon Walker bit, but
no, you're good.
I messed up the words, so I had to just go with it.
I mean, you forgot it. You forgot his biggest nickname, the machine gun. I mean, this is the machine gun we're talking to. This guy just fires off the hip at anybody. You know, there was we'll probably get into it, but I mean, he's clapped back at Elon before. But yeah, we appreciate you coming onto the show. A guy who I think maybe is best known from Dave Portnoy tweeting out, "This is our data guy," with a very, very nice picture underneath it. But before I get into all that, before Dave Portnoy got to tweeting you out, I mean, I'm pretty sure I look, like I tell everyone, I look into your LinkedIn. You were just like doing retail sales, all that stuff. So how do you go from doing that up in Canada up there, and then coming across the border down to the US into Barstool Sports? How'd that all happen? What got you into Barstool?
So my buddy Marcus Kudo got me into them back in like the early 2010s, and I started reading, and like all back when it was just really a blog, and like KFC, Big Cat, and Dave were all blogging like 10 times a day, and it was the funniest shit I've like ever read, and nothing I'd ever seen before like on the internet. And so I became a massive fan from there. And then that was when I was in college. And then afterwards, I went to work for like a small agricultural hedge fund in Canada, where we were trading like futures contracts of like cattle and pigs and corn and shit like that. And then the way I got my like foot in the door was, do you guys remember Kat Timpf? You know Kat?
The politician, comedian, lady, blonde.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's on Fox News now. New book out. You guys should buy it. I did. I haven't read it yet, but she's a great writer, so I bet it'll be quite enjoyable. But she tweeted. She used to work for Barstool, and she tweeted out that she needed an intern to like send her ideas for events to make videos at every week in New York. And so I replied to that. Like I emailed her and just like sent a lit. Like I didn't send a resume because I was like, what the fuck's a resume gonna matter for a job like that? So I just sent her a list of video like events she could make a video at. Then like I didn't hear back from like 2 months. and then I got an email from Paul Gulzinski, and I was like, who the fuck is Paul Gulzinski? And then it clicked, like, oh, it's fucking Gaz. And then I did that for a couple years, and then Kat left, but Gaz emailed me like, you can keep doing this because we're like just getting to New York, and we still need to do that. So just keep doing it. And then I met Gaz and Dave. I went to Figawi in Nantucket over Memorial Day weekend in like 2017, I think it was. And like we got along really well. So I got the courage from that to be like, hey, like if you need, like my background's in statistics, so if you need anything like that as you're expanding the business, let me know. And then he hooked me up with Lewis Roberts, and then Lewis kind of took it from there in terms of getting me into the data role that I have currently. And so I started full time back in the summer of 2018. So that's how I went from
No, it's everyone we talked to, they're like, yeah, it was like 2 months, we didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden we got like a random email, and it's like, damn, dude, what were you doing for 2 months? It must be scary as shit. Like, is there anything that happened from this, or what's going on? You know, like,
I just figured that she got someone else. You know, like,
yeah,
like it was just a email there. She put her email in the tweet, and I was like, just may as well try this. Like, I could do this from Canada quite easily. I can Google just as well as anyone else can, like what's going on in New York, weird shit for her to make videos at. And so I just figured someone else got it. And then, yeah, I see a notification on my phone. I have an email from Paul Gulzinski, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I saw his Barstool email. I'm like, oh, that's Gaz's real name. Which I don't understand. I don't think there's an A in his name, so I don't know where Gaz came from. But
yeah, but it's
anyway,
how long the last name is. Yeah, the last name. Yeah. How long that is.
Sass is the only. Sorry, Jonathan.
No, you're good.
No, I was just saying that Sass is the only one that says his nickname right, because he used to call him Gauze, which is what.
Really?
For the first like couple months he was on the yak, he'd be like, yeah, Gauze texted me, and they'd be like, why do you fucking call him that? And he's like, what? Like, he was pretty bad for a while there.
My boss called him Guz for a while, like, because he'd see his full name, and I think he just thought we were typing it wrong in Slack, and he would call him Guz. And I was like, no, it's Gaz.
That's a terrible nickname, Guz. Yeah.
Well, Guz was the name. Actually, we gave. Owen tweeted out the other day the hot dog sketch where the like Brianna Chicken Fry brings over her competitive eater boyfriend, and it's Sass. His name was Guz, actually. That's right. I forgot. I had forgotten about that sketch, and I rewatched it when Owen tweeted it out, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we named him fucking Guz.
That's hilarious. I forgot about that too. That was such a great skit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 4th of July.
That's from the mind of Owen. That one. Sometimes like I won't be at a sketch, and there will be certain lines in it, and I'll text him. I'm like, that was you for sure. That was you with that one. Man, I wish I could remember the one recently, but I knew
some of those guys are
just sometimes
top level creative type shit that like when it comes to producing a show like Out of Order, or like directing a show or writing a show like that, like it fights Owen, Sass, credit all of them, because the shit they come up with is like, what is it? There was one that like it was like the Spotify rap. That one had me rolling too, because Sass was just standing in an apartment with like 90 things like blaring at him.
Yeah. I think that one was a Sass idea. Owen comes up with so much of that shit, and Pavs is a wizard with the editing. It's super fucking impressive. Like, so everything they can do.
What's Data's role in something like that?
I was gonna just ask
I'm just good friends with Owen, so
everything I read says you're involved with Out of Order, and then it just always says vibes guy. That was what I put in parentheses here, because it always mentions your vibes guy. I'm like, is that your job then? Because that's sick.
It's basically like Owen just likes me and likes my sense of humor, so he asked if I wanted to like help out, and my role is essentially, well, like a lot of times I'm behind a camera just to like make sure everything's going proper. Like, I don't know how the fuck to film or anything like that, but I'm just making sure that things aren't fucked up or anything like that. But for the most part, it's like trying to contribute ideas, at the actual shooting, trying to throw lines out that people can say. But yeah, I always say that I'm just blessed to be any role at all with it. I feel it's good to be friends with Owen and for him to want me involved. All those guys are great. But yeah,
You weren't the one. You weren't the one that got excited about Keegs in the fantasy football one, were you? Was that your
I
role?
did, yeah. That was my role in that one. Yeah.
You nailed that role, man. It looked authentic. Hell of an actor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't show my fiance that one. I think it would have looked
Fair.
too authentic or something.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys do well with that, honestly. Like I remember being in, I know it's different. I was in high school and I was doing TV productions class, which like I did that all 4 years and I loved it. Always made movies, did the news, all that stuff. And like I feel like when you're with your friends, like I know it's easier to act because it's just your friends and you're kind of goofing off and whatever. But I feel like you also like it takes so many like takes sometimes because you just like every time you know like the certain spot that's going to be funny that you keep laughing. Like, does that happen when you guys film a sketch where it's like you almost just laugh too much sometimes?
Oh yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it, especially early on, it was like a ton of improv that like we'd just come in with like the idea and then Sass and Fights would just make magic because they're both just so good like off the top of their head. And we'd be just like dying laughing in the room and then have to shoot it again just because we all started laughing like a shit ton during it. That's the most fun part, especially like it's easier definitely when like everything's kind of written out. But the early ones when it was just like going in and just like they were just coming up with funny shit on the fly, and you're just like dying laughing in the middle of it. And then it's like, okay, we got to reshoot it. It would take longer. So maybe it would frustrate like Owen and like maybe it's shittier for them, like editing and stuff like Owen and Pavs. But it was always very, very funny where it's just when you just get Fights and Sass in a room and just are kind of like, here's what you're gonna get to, you guys fill in the blanks. That's some of the funniest
I
shit
can't even
that
imagine.
they end up doing. My favorite one,
Nick and KB in too. It's like, yikes.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, unfortunately, I haven't been at a lot of those ones because they filmed them a lot out in Chicago. But I like the few I have been, especially the Christmas ones. The Christmas ones, they were here for like the whole weekend filming a bunch of those, and those were fucking hysterical. Like, I love those guys, and it's always fun having them. My favorite one in the room we ever did was just this only Sass. Do you guys remember the GQ one where he was a milkman?
Yeah, and you just sitting there.
Yeah, and we were just in a green screen room. It was like me, Owen, Sass, and Tyler Miller, and there was just milk fucking everywhere. So he kept sliding the milk in. There was milk flying everywhere, and I was like just howling, laughing. And the name we gave him was actually my buddy's last name because my buddy's dad was like a milkman at one point. So I was like, give him this name just so I could send it to my buddy and be like, yo, we took it from your dad being a milkman back in the day.
Yeah, thanks for the inspiration.
That one was my favorite one. That was another Owen idea. A lot of the ones where I'm just like, so many of the sketches, I'm just like, how the fuck did you even come up with this, Owen? Like where did your brain go for this? But it's super, super. I wish my brain worked that way. Honestly,
as a viewer, I say that shit, dude. I'm literally I end watching them, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, who thought of it? Like, it's just insane sometimes. Like, what the hell was that? Like,
yeah. So many of the Owen's it's, I guess, knowing, like, working behind the scenes, knowing who comes up with each one, I have a better idea. But a lot of them that are like the more out there ones are Owen. Just, I don't know if he's fucking high or something coming up with the shit, but.
Was he the one that did the substitute teacher one? I got to know that because that was one of my favorites.
No, that one's one of my favorites. That was a Sass one.
Okay, because he killed that when he was. I don't know, man.
Sass and Jackie were fantastic in that. Everyone who's like a regular in it is fantastic. I always say like anytime you see me in a sketch, we're just hurting on people. Like, and the role is for someone to have like 2 or 3 lines with 0 expression. That's where I can slide in and things don't get hurt too much. But no, fucking Sass, obviously the main cast, like Sass fights, Nick and KB. Keegs is always incredible. Jackie's always great. Like they're, it's a good.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fortunately, it's a very good
Crazy.
group. I don't think it would work as well if people, because of Keegs and Jackie, if all those people weren't just like naturally like very good actors. I don't think any of them fucking did any like
you're
theater shit or anything in high school or anything like that. Like
right, you're turning bloggers into actors or actresses, and it has been incredible to watch like the progression of it, and like you said, it's probably progressed more to like I guess to where now it's a little more professional, or maybe it's not. I don't know. To like, I imagine when that first begins and you guys are writing in the room, it takes like forever to get done. How's the timeline to get like an out of order done now? Like, is it still just like it was in the beginning, or is it more so like you guys have it set out and you're getting more used to it?
I think it depends really. Like if it's one, like Pabs, I'm never involved in like the editing shit. Like the only stuff I'll really see, so like in the ones I'm involved with is like the writing stuff. And normally that doesn't take like a shit ton of time. It'll be like people throwing out ideas and stuff. But the ones that are more like movie-esque, Pabs has said like will take like not obviously full length, but like, you know, the one what was the one, the Show Me the Money one? Like where it was like almost like a horror movie.
Yeah,
it was like 5 or 6 minutes, and there's a lot of different. Like I think that takes a lot longer to edit. Like just based on what Pavs has said in meetings before, where like those ones can they can be very, very, very time consuming to edit. Whereas like something where it's like just another one, the car fucks one recently, where it was like fights and Sass going back and forth, and like that one I think is a lot easier because it's just a couple of cameras set up and you have just one room. I think those are easier, and sometimes those can be like the funniest shit when they're just going back and forth. So I think those ones are a lot easier for Pavs to handle. But he's so talented. Like
the coloring is unbelievable. It looks like a movie even in those ones. Like every one of the sketches looks like a movie. Like it's
what was
crazy.
the one that you guys were killing ugly people? That one was awesome. I love it. You guys, yes, Taz couldn't pull the trigger at the end.
I was away for that one, so I didn't see how that one developed. But when I saw the final product, I was dying laughing. Like that one, I think that one was a Fights idea because I think maybe he was just like talking about seeing these people in aloe and like being jealous that they can wear it, something like that. Like
I feel like it was like,
maybe I'm making that up. It seems like a Fights idea to me.
No, I feel like he said that.
Yeah, it was during like a KFC episode. Him and KFC were talking about it, and then like 2 weeks later they had a skit out. I was like, oh, okay, that's putting shit in motion. I love that. But you mentioned your acting there. And how, like, you know, you're more of a straight face, no emotion guy. And I think that's because you're a breaker of news. You're a guy that people call on. You know, when we got to get to some stories. I mean, you're on TMZ. You know, you're a frequent guest on TMZ. So I know we talked about it a little pre-show, but how did the one that you recall most come to be? And why don't you just fill us in on how your TMZ appearance went?
So, well, the one that people remember most wouldn't have happened without the first one.
Oh, okay.
The first one was just I quoted like some headline and I said something. I don't even remember what it was. And then they DM'd me from their different account, TMZ Live, and were like, "Hey, do you want to come on the show to discuss this?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, is this a fake account or something? Like that? What is this? How they get people for their show?" And so I sent it to a few of my friends and was like, "Should I do this?" And obviously they were like, "Yeah, do this." And then, like we talked about pre-show, I don't even remember what it was. I don't even remember what I ended up going on for, but they switched the story like 15 minutes prior. And then I was texting, I think I texted Jack Mac asking like what I should say. And that's I just remember saying something about like, because there was like the UN meetings going on, and so I said something about them trying to make us eat bugs or something, just something stupid, and that wasn't really relevant to the story. But then if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have done the second one, where the second one was when they were the ones right before Shane Gillis was going on SNL, and they were like bringing up the stuff he got fired for in the first place. So like just digging all that old shit up. And I like him a lot. So I was like, fuck them for doing this. Like, that's such a bullshit move. And so I DM'd them again, and I was like, I can probably just get on TMZ again for this story. And so I was like, I'm like a progressive liberal, and I'd like to come on and give my thoughts on.
Do you want to know what you
Gillis.
actually said?
Do you have it pulled up?
I don't have it actually pulled up, but I remember your last line. It said, I'm woke and I'm mad. I laughed so hard. I was like, they read this and said, ooh, let's get this guy on. It sounded so fake. I was like, holy shit, dude, that's hilarious.
That's the thing. I think maybe they just don't care. Like, they're just like, whoever, it's like, I mean, based on the first one, they're going and asking people to come on. So maybe they were like, I don't care if this guy is fucking around. Like, he can be on as long as someone's reaching out, they're like, yeah, get this guy on. And they film it like 45 minutes prior. So if I said something insane, like, they could just ditch that and not have someone like me come on to comment. I'm sure they would have been able to handle it fine. But I almost ditched that like appearance in the middle of it, because you can see the show like as you're waiting on Skype. And so I joined the room, and I can literally see like what you would see on television before, and they're going through and they bring up, like, they're talking about all the things that he said. And he said some wild shit on those old podcasts, but he's trying to be funny and whatever. But they're playing it and they're bleeping out all these things that he was saying, like all these slurs and everything. And I'm like, I'm worried. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to have all this being said and then just throw it to me to be fucking like dickhead on camera after he's like saying all this wild shit? I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to come on right after all this bleeping. And then a guy comes on and he clarifies. He's like, yes, he did say the F slur and the N word and like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And then there was at least a little bit of a buffer where like Harvey was on and they gave their thoughts, and they were saying like, oh, you know, he's trying to be provocative and funny and whatnot. And it kind of like slowed my heart rate a little that I wasn't going to be thrown right after to just make fun of the entire situation. Like, I thought that would have been a little, I don't know. It just would have been a little much for me to be making fun of the whole thing, like right after the clips. I was like, I'm not sure I want to be the first one talking after this. But so, yeah, I was sitting there. I'm just like, holy shit. Am I going to, like, I was literally thinking about just dropping off the call. Luckily I didn't, but yeah, that was, I'm glad that worked out, because I was texting Owen before it, and I was like, I had like what I wanted to say, and I was like, should I do this? Like, I don't really, I'm not sure. He's like, dude, if you deliver like what you say with confidence, that will be so fucking funny. And I was like, all right, that's all I needed to hear. I'll go. And basically anytime I do something like that, or any tweet I send or anything like that, it's purely just to entertain my friends. If I think that they'll find it funny, then I'm like, all right, I'll just do it. I don't really.
I got the message if you want to know exactly what you said.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is why it's so funny. If you would like to have me on again to discuss Shane Gillis backlash, I'd be more than happy to hop on and provide more backlash. I am a member of the woke left, and I am mad.
Yeah. I decided to
Yeah.
cosplay that day.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
and then
your
the woke.
shirt got cut off, and you were all pissed about it, which was hysterical
yeah.
because it said something on your shirt like,
I think it said like "Save the Planet" or
yeah,
It was definitely a
destroy.
rainbow.
It said destroy the patriarchy, not the
not
planet.
the planet. Yeah,
I don't know
Yeah.
why I bought that, but I
great
had
shit
that shirt
with a
and I knew
with
it
a
would be
rainbow.
good.
Yeah, and then you came on and you started telling them about how, you know, it's terrible what Shane's doing. It's ruining this day of celebration in Canada because I forget what exactly happened that day, but there were, you know, you guys were happy up there.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really a blessing that Drake leaked his huge dick that day or the previous day. That was yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know what I would have gone with if it wasn't for Drake's big beautiful penis leaking that day.
I just love that dude from TMZ. He's like, I was wondering where he was going with that with Drake, but yeah, you know,
Yeah.
the image leaked out, and you know, they had to discuss it for a second. It was
Yeah, I had a little bit more after that, like written of what I wanted to say, but I was kind of like after it got cut off there, I was kind of like, yeah, I should have expected to be cut off
Yeah.
like right there. Like,
So was
they're
there a
not gonna-
post show to that? Did they ask anything else, or did they just you're out?
No, it's just I get cut off. I can see what they're talking about right after, and then a guy just comes into your ear and says, "All right," he was like, "All right, you did great, thanks." And I was like, okay. And then it airs, like I said, like 45 minutes, an hour later, and I really had no idea because people were waiting to watch it, and I was like, I have no idea if they're going to air that. Like everyone could be disappointed if they just cut that off, but yeah, they aired it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like they may have known from the message. Maybe I'm fucking around, but they don't care. Like they're like whatever.
I don't know. I think they more
someone
thought like
on-
you were a crazy maybe left person or something. You'd already been on, so they're like, all right, perfect. You know.
Yeah.
But, speaking of Drake, I Googled real quick to try to see what your first TMZ thing was about, and I put in Michael Greer, and then put TMZ, and the first thing that comes up and says that you were the first African American general manager of the NHL. So congratulations on that. I wasn't aware.
Yeah,
apparently there's a guy named Mike Greer who is the general manager of the San Jose Sharks. So,
yeah, he's the brother
Also from
of Chris
Canada.
Greer. He's the brother of Chris Greer, who's the GM of the Dolphins, who Frank.
Oh
hates.
shit! I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And so the only other Mike Greer I knew was this. He used to play hockey too. He played for the Sabres. He played for the Sharks. He's like a very black guy. And then someone the other day messaged me that he like ran into another Mike Greer on LinkedIn. It was another black guy. And I was like, I think I just have a black name.
Yeah, you definitely.
And then Owen started going on LinkedIn, and he was like tallying how many Mike Greers he could find that were like white versus black. He was like he found like 13 black Mike Greers and only 6 white Mike Greers. So
Wow.
and he was just like this is a really fun game to play.
Yeah, what a phenomenon.
Yeah, so I just have a black name, I guess. I don't know.
I need to know how many of those are in Canada versus other places, though, too.
I don't think Owen was going that deep. But
Well, yeah, I'm just saying I
guess-
might have to do that on my own.
Yeah, I guess it's as far as I knew, it's an Irish name, so there must be a bunch of black Irishmen named Mike Greer, I guess. I don't know.
There it is.
Oh yeah, I might be related to one. So touching back on the camaraderie aspect of everything, and I'm pretty sure this is the day that we saw the infamous tweet. Was it Darts Day? Because you're a darts guy, right?
Yeah, I've organized that like 3 times. I think I'm retired at this point. The Chicago move kind of made it difficult this year, and so that'll probably be the swan song of it, honestly. But it was a good run.
Yeah, because Max didn't come back. He bailed on everyone.
Yeah.
TJ still made it out there to lead the day. But
He did, yeah.
was that the day we saw Dave tweet out that you're the data guy, and how'd that happen? So what day
No,
was
that one, that was Nantucket. That was Nantucket in 2019. So I'd been at Barstool for like less than a year, and I went back. I went in 2017 before. That was the first time I met Dave and Gaz. Went 2018 with my friends again. And 2019 was the last time I went, because 2020 it got, obviously nobody really went. And then but 2019 was at a bar called Straight Wharf with Gaz and my friends, and I think like Kevin Hayes was there too, like with Gaz. And this bar was just, it's the most fun you can have. Like, it's just packed to the gills. Everyone's having a great time. And they would sell you 30, like a case of 30 Bud Lights. You could just go to the bar, give them like $200, and they would give you the full case of 30 cans of Bud Light. So you walk around just like with your friends, just taking beers. You don't have to go up the bar every time, because that'd be a fucking nightmare. And I don't remember how I ended up in that situation, obviously, but I just got so drunk, and then I was walking home, and there's been different points in my life when I'm that drunk, I'm just like, I have to sleep. Like, I don't care. And so I think I just decided to take a little breather on the sidewalk, and someone snapped a photo of me, and it ended up in Gaz's hands. And on the way back to New York on Monday, I was like on a bus, and I'm just like, I knew that picture was out there somewhere, and I'm already have the worst Sunday, in this case Monday, scaries that I've ever had in my entire life. And then I'm on this bus, which is obviously awful. Probably the only person going to Nantucket taking a bus back, because they're all rich. I'm just fucking on a like 6-hour bus back to New York. Now I get a notification on my phone, like a bunch of texts, and then I open it, and I open that tweet, and I was like, holy fucking shit. And I just shut my phone off for the rest of the ride. I was like, I don't want to see any of this. I want to pretend it didn't happen. And like I said, I was new. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going to be waiting for me at work? And then luckily I work at Barstool, so nobody really cared. Everybody found it funny, but I was mortified. And
you want to talk about anxiety? I mean, anxiety. That is it. I had it. I had Sunday scares this Sunday. Well, it was again Monday, because the Steelers got their ass kicked by the Cowboys. So like, even going through a normal day is like rough. I'm texting, everybody be like, hey, I'm sorry for what I did, and I nothing happened. But falling asleep on the sidewalk, getting it tweeted out by Dave Portnoy, that's that had to do something to you mentally, for sure. I would have been worried. But again, Barstool is the benefit of that, so it worked out.
I'll give you guys a little Barstool breakdown exclusive. There is another photo of me, I think maybe from that weekend. There was this account. There was this account called like Chad Tuckett, where it would post photos of all these passed out Chads, and I think that's where the photo like got to, and maybe where Gaz got it. And I've been posted by that account like 3 separate times. One time wasn't so bad. One of my buddies was getting a beer at like Cisco Brewers, and I was just alone, and I was just drunk, and I started like, for some reason I was like getting my stretches in, so I was like doing like that, and so there's
quad
just a video.
stretching.
There's just a video of me like stretching my quads in Cisco Brewers. But there was another photo, and this one I will maintain isn't that fucking bad. But I went to the wrong. All these houses look the exact fucking same. And so I accidentally went to our neighbor's house instead of our Airbnb. And so obviously I couldn't get in. And so I had left the bar a little earlier than my friends. And so then I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to lay down on the front porch. And so there is a photo, probably, I think it was on their Instagram story, so you couldn't find it now. But I was just like laying there on a front porch, and someone took a picture of me, and we're like, oh, this guy's like passed out. And it's like, well, I probably was asleep, but it was a very conscious decision where I was like, all right, my friends will come back and let me into this place. I'm just going to lay down on the front porch. But yeah, there are.
Well, how did that end?
There is. My friends came back and were like, "Yo,
They found you next
over
door?"
here." Yeah, they're like, "We're fucking over here, dude. That's why you couldn't get in." That one was, like I said, it wasn't that bad. But if you saw the photo, you'd be like, "This guy's fucking passed out on the front porch." And it's like, yeah, but no.
Right. Yeah. That's,
Like,
you don't know
but
any of the
yeah.
backstory, man. All right.
Yeah,
Fuck. Yeah.
it's not that fucking bad. All right.
Do you think it's disrespectful that they call that Stephen Shea has the bet trust the data when you're the data guy?
No, I love Che. I love Che. No, because I have tried my own data with gambling and mine fucking sucks. So I can look at podcast stats and social stats and be fine with that. But when it comes to gambling, you cannot trust my data. So I give Che full permission to use that name, and he's normally pretty good. I mean,
I think
at
he had a
least when
down
he
year
started,
this year.
I think he had a down year, but he does his research. You should trust his data. It's not that bad. It's a hell of a lot more trustworthy than mine.
What about Clemmer?
Clemmer, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about his gambling stuff, but Clemmer, those clips from Pick Central can be very, very, very fucking funny. And I'd imagine if I was on the show, it'd be very frustrating. But as an outside observer, it's very, very, very funny to see how passionate he gets and how pissed off he gets at people.
Yeah.
He gets fired up, man. We had him on. I think it was like right before or like right or during like the Tate and Keegs drama, and we had him on, and he kind of just like went on. Like we didn't have to ask him much. He was just started talking. I was like, all right, thanks, man. Yeah, he drank his.
What was he doing? Was he shitting on Tate?
Oh yeah,
yeah, because he was really hating Tate, right?
It was like New York versus Tate at that point. So he was kind of just going in, and he kept saying like, I don't really know him, but like, if I was gonna say something, I wouldn't say this, and so it was pretty good. It was right before the Super Bowl and shit too, so it was kind of like
he definitely didn't get like Smitty mad, like mad at Smitty when they go at it. That is must watch streaming. Another random question: you're a bidet guy?
Big time.
When do you make the switch? Like, do you just advise everyone to make the switch, like get off the scratchy stuff and hop over to the bidet?
Well, I have bought several of my friends' bidets. I've bought and I get very insulted when they don't use them. I bought KB one when he was on ironically on anus. He was complaining about he had an itchy asshole, and I was like, "Yo, fucking, you gotta get on the bidet. That'll get the job done. That'll be fine." I think he had issues with his toilet seat though, and he couldn't get it installed. So I haven't followed up with how his itchy asshole is doing.
Yeah, it's good. Shout out Panic Hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cream he shouted out on anus that he says he shoves up his ass every night. He said he like leaves it next to his bed in case he wakes up or something. I was fucking crying. I'm like, wait, you just stick your finger up your asshole and then go back to sleep? Like,
Bidet would probably be easier. I got Tom Lay one.
Hell yeah!
He used it for a bit. It didn't make the move with him though. I got Malasek one because one time Quigs went over to his house and clogged the toilet, and I was like, "Well, that would," and I'm pretty sure it became a pretty bad clog. It really rose up. So I was like, "Well, that wouldn't happen with a bidet." Normally, I'm drunk when I do this, and
are these the Manscaper 4000s or whatever?
No. Well, I mean, if they sponsor us, yes, but no.
Or Dude Wiper. I'm sorry, I meant Dude Wiper.
Yeah, but no, it's just some random one on Amazon. But they all work. Like if Manscaped or Dude Wipes is sponsoring us, then use that one. They're all like the same price, but no, they get the job done. I
gotta ask you though, dude. Like, you got to dry it after. Like, what's the situation? Like, I don't know. I got like a forest down there.
You use way less, and you just feel way better. It's
like
it's night and day.
I feel like
once you use it once. No, trust me.
Dude, it would be like my asshole would look like like my front yard with the kids after Halloween, dude. There would just be toilet paper stuck all up in there, dude. That would be the
No,
best.
no.
That's the point of the
Trust me.
bidet. It sounds like it's
Yeah.
all rinse and clean up there. You mentioned how it helps clogging. How's that work?
Well, less toilet
You
paper.
just use less toilet paper.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I was
Yeah,
just
you
thinking
really
Quig
just-
took a massive.
I was
shit.
thinking Quig just like iceberg shit it, and it was just like
Yeah,
overflowing.
That's what it was.
I don't think anyone is ever really shits that massively that you clog a toilet. Like everyone says that to make fun of the person that did it, but it's mostly a toilet paper issue.
How did courtesy flushes come about? Someone had to have like.
Because it smells awful. You gotta flush it. Yeah, that's why you do that.
I didn't know you were so
Or
fucking
if
passionate
you're
about
using
courtesy
so much-
flushes, Greer.
Or if you're using so much toilet paper and it's a nightmare and you keep having to go, which you never have to do with a bidet, then you do the flush so you don't clog it.
Yeah.
But you don't have that issue with a bidet.
Yeah,
So
okay.
once you trust me, order one, put it on one of your toilets. It's life changing. You never want to go back.
Payday, I'm buying a bidet. I don't know.
My parents have one, and I've tried it.
Send me a
I just feel like
It's
I'm
great.
wet.
I feel like Greer's gonna get out. Greer's gonna get out of data and go into selling bidets. He's passionate about this stuff.
I would be the best bidet salesman.
So you were a
Actually, no, I
salesman at
wouldn't
one
because
point.
I actually wouldn't be a good salesman. I'd just get frustrated and I'd buy them for people instead of waiting for them to buy them themselves. KB got me a bunch of gifts after though. I had like a Alex Morgan like decal on my wall that said like play like a champion. That's a Notre Dame thing, but like it's in one of the sketches actually. I forget which one. I think it was the Fight and Necklace one, which is another Owen idea where Keegs is like getting angry at fights and fights I think like refuses to take off his fighting necklaces to like go out with her to like some event.
Yep.
And like you can see the decal on the wall that KB got me that for some reason my fiance let me put up for way more time than I was expecting. And then actually today Katie Stats comes over to my desk. She's like, "Why do you have a little Megan Rapinoe figurine on your desk?" And I was like, KB got it for me as a gift. And that was KB just got me like a bunch of women's soccer shit in exchange for the bidet I got him.
U.S. women's soccer, nonetheless.
Yeah.
That's
my adopted country. You know?
I was gonna say, I always like the fact that like everything it kept saying ON. I'm like, what state is that? And I'm like, oh, that's Ontario. I'm like, the dude's from fucking Canada. Like, but speaking of stats, you said Katie Stats. One of your previous jobs, it said you were a statistician, which I think was your last job prior to this, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? I'm a math
statistician.
Teacher, so.
I
guess you still are now.
Right now in the eyes of the U.S. government because that's what my visa says. I don't know. That was just like a title. For the most part, I was just like I was like executing trades of like I said, the cattle futures and hog futures and stuff like that. And then I would try to make like models to price what these things should cost. And then so that would be like, I guess, where you would call me a statistician. But for the most part, I was like executing the trades. And it was fun. Like I fucking loved that job. I never would have left if it wasn't for Barstool.
No, that job can be included, but maybe even at your time at Barstool, what was your worst data move? I think one comes to mind.
What comes to mind?
It went by USUG.
Oh, fuck you.
So I think the story goes you could have made $100,000. You held on to USUG during how'd that play out for you?
Yeah, so the meme coin sketch, we were coming up with like writing it was pretty easy. It wrote itself with all these insane coins that these people would come up with. My favorite though was one that Fights made up. Fights just said black people don't recycle. And that one destroyed me. I was laughing so fucking hard. And then someone ended up actually making a coin called Black People Don't Recycle because they saw like our sketch went pretty big in like the meme coin community. Everyone was sharing it and found it hilarious. But all of them were real. But or except for black people don't recycle. But you
Real
sell
now.
you sell you gay was one, and and some people were accusing me of like insider trading. I'm like, what the
Oh my
fuck do you
God.
mean I'm insider
Jesus
trading?
Christ.
Like, like I'm not an insider here. And also the entire meme coin thing is like people buying things and then pushing it to followers and stuff. So like I don't know what you mean I'm insider trading. But anyway, I like that one I had already, and I was like, okay, like, well, let's see what because it was dead. It was dead. Like so I was like, whatever. Like this isn't gonna do anything. And then all of a sudden it like ran up that day. And I was like, all right, I'll take a little fucking I'll take my win and get out. And then it ran up like 20 times, maybe 40 times more than that. And yeah, if I held everything, I could have had like $100,000. So like I felt pretty good after that day, and then felt horrific. So also anyone fucking accusing me of insider trading, everyone else made way more fucking money than I did on that shit.
I was going to ask you
Like,
that at the end. I was going to say,
I revived
less?
the fucking coin. It was like an $8,000 market cap, and it went all the way to $4 million. I made everyone but me money.
how much did you end up making on that?
Like $1,000 or $2,000, and then I lost that. Like fucking, that's the whole game. I suck at that shit.
I know you're passionate about crypto because there was a time that you pretended to be Elon.
Yes,
he was fucking up the market.
Yeah, he was. He tweeted some shit about Bitcoin. This was even pre him owning Twitter, but he was shitting on Bitcoin or something about like the environmental aspect because it used too much energy, and he said he like sold it or something. So I switched my profile name and picture and everything to match his account, and then I said like I'm buying and I'm like bullish on Bitcoin, and then it started catching fire way more than I was expecting, and then within like a half hour I had been suspended from Twitter for I think I got suspended for like a week. Shout out Gaz. I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, he got my account back, and he lied to them and said like I didn't mean to do that or something, or I'd been hacked or something. I don't remember. Gaz was nice enough to do that. I'm not like content or anything. My Twitter account doesn't mean shit to our business, but he was nice enough to recover that for me. So yeah, shout out Gaz there. But yeah, I got burned on that pretty bad.
Yeah. I only have one more thing, and it's stealing from the great mind of KB. It's called tweet reading. It's where I'm gonna
okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna read. Let's see, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3. All right, 4 tweets, 3 of which you tweeted.
Okay.
1 of which you didn't. Okay, and you just got to let me know which one.
Okay.
Not a Starbucks guy. I take my drinks small, medium, and large. None of that fancy dancy communist speak. #America. Tweet number 2.
Okay. That's got to be a really old one.
Tweet number 2. Haven't checked the film, so maybe a dumb question, but is the white cornerback Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid McKinstry?
I know that was me. I remember that one.
All right, and these last 2 get a little combative. I'll start with this one. I am a cross-country trucker. I hunt, I fish, and in November I'll be voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And then the last one here.
Me.
I am a U.S. Marine. I hunt, I fish, and in November I will be voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Okay, so one of those last 2 wasn't me because I only did that one time, I think. So the first one must have been very old. Must have been very
2012.
old.
2012. You were passionate about Starbucks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I probably had never had Starbucks my entire life at that point. I was Tim Hortons guy. That's back when I'm in Canada.
That tweet got a lot of action. There was 1 like and 1 retweet on that. I don't know. I think I searched communist. I searched communist and found that.
That one back then I was tweeting to nobody. Like we all got Twitter accounts when I was in high school, and then everyone stopped, and I just kept going. And I just had probably like 25 followers, none of which were actually on Twitter. So that
was when Twitter was the worst.
Yeah. That was
eating
when
a
I was
sandwich,
like, texting. Yeah,
going to brush my teeth. I was like, oh my god, dude, what is this?
Read
site?
the last 2 again. I think
the
I
last
think
2.
it was the third one.
You want them in the same order? Doesn't matter. All right.
I think it was I said a cross country trucker. I think, right? I think that was me.
You're wrong. Tyler O'Day said that. Tyler O'Day tweeted a picture
right.
of you holding a wrestling belt, saying I'm a cross-country trucker, because previously you had tweeted out I'm a U.S. Marine, and under that is a picture of Tyler O'Day. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. I love fucking with Tyler. Tyler's the best. I love Tyler.
Yeah, shout out.
Some people on Twitter think I don't like him, which is fair, but I love Tyler. I talk to Tyler like every day. It's
really?
Oh, look at this.
We have a group chat. It's me, like Gaz, Jack Mac, Chuck, Pat, and Tyler. And I guess they had it for ages called Stick to Sports. I guess so. like some of them wouldn't tweet out something stupid and they could just get their takes off in there. And then they added me to it a little while ago. I'm blessed to be there, and I talk to Tyler every day. It's a great chat.
It's awesome. I just want to make the list.
Perfect
What's
segue
that?
there, because sorry, go ahead.
I said I just want to make the O'Daniak list. That's all. Put me number 100.
You know what? Speaking of, let him know that he's got beef with me, because I tweeted out to him. He tweeted out the Empire State Building, and it was like, I don't know, Eagles colors or something, and people were all like on his ass about it. And I said, I will agree with this as long as Tyler O'Day puts me in the next O'Daniaks list. And he, from not the Empire State Building, from his own account, said done. And then I did the handshake emoji. O'Daniaks list comes out. I'm not on it. I tweet at him, what the fuck?
Yeah, the list is fraudulent.
So
I'll let him know. I mean, I don't make it now. I think I get at him too much in the group chat. But
again, fair.
Yeah.
My presence on that list, I think, depends on how much I'm getting at him in that group chat in the days prior to the list being released. But he knows I'm an O'Daniak. Even if he doesn't have me on that list, I consider myself number 1 O'Daniak. I love him.
He's awesome.
I'd love to be on the list someday, so you need to let him know that he's got beef.
I'll put in a good word.
We appreciate
maybe
that.
don't say beef then. But it was going to be a perfect transition, because we were talking about wrestling, and then you were talking about catching up with people, and one of the last questions I had here was, you and Brandon Walker are like best friends. Do you guys still like DM and check in on each other? Or does he check in on you, I guess? Because that was insane. That time of the act you came in, I was like, wait, what? Like, he just texted you on Saturday, said let's kill today or whatever. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he does that. He does that all the time. Me and Brandon, we hype each other up when on Twitter. It'll happen randomly. I'll just get a DM. He'll be like, Greer, they don't make them like us too. And I'll just be like, yeah, hell yeah, they don't, dude. and I'll wish him a good weekend, whatever. Yeah, me and Brandon got a tight relationship on Twitter and when we see each other in person, but especially we hype each other up on Twitter. I don't know how it started, but I like Brandon a lot.
He's a great dude. He's probably still mad at me because when Toledo was playing him, I was pretty loud about it even before the game started, because I knew Toledo was going to kick their ass. So I was.
Did you catch a block or anything?
No.
Know you well enough now.
he knows me well enough now. He gave me a warning. It was like, because like I said fuck you a second time, and then he gave me, it was like a gif. It was like, that's 2, motherfucker, 3 in your ass. yeah. But no, I mean, I try to, keep up with Brandon as well. I'm trying to think. I was sending him random things. I forget what it was. Oh, yeah, like before the yak, I was sending him facts about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, because he was going to be on the show. I didn't want him to be nervous, prepared, Yeah, I try to help him out.
That one, I was stunned. Like I
Yeah.
was really. I'm not a soccer guy, but I've got a friend that is a big Inter Milan fan, and he used to play for them. So I kind of had heard years ago what a legend Zlatan was. When I heard he was on, like I couldn't believe it. That guy is so fucking funny. Like his quotes. Then like on the yak, he was hilarious too when they were asking him about like what quotes were actually his, and he was like owning up to them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that, and then Malasek fucking
That was
Twice.
insane.
making the
Yeah.
save. Like even if he was taking a little off it, who cares? Like
It
they were
didn't even look like he
legitimate
was
shots.
too much. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
First of all,
like he probably could have killed Malasek. Like if he wanted to concuss him with a shot, he could have. But like he wasn't bullshitting those shots, and
No,
Malasek
that's
was
what-
making the saves.
I
Like,
mean,
it
he
was
said
impressive.
it from his own mouth. He said he's a professional goalie. I mean, for him to say
Yeah.
that, I was like, Jake must have went home and just jacked it for hours in front of his dog. Shout out
Yeah.
Osmo. Just kidding.
Yeah. Cosmo now, I think.
Cosmo the Panda.
Yeah, people forget Jake
Yeah.
is an Olympian. People forget that. You know, he
Could be.
Soon to be. Soon
to be.
Well,
Right,
we're
yeah.
not going to say
Amen, Big
could.
Cat.
He's gonna be.
Yeah, they're gonna get in
Which
there. He's got
amazes, which
confidence.
amazes me. Like I don't
Yeah.
fucking like. How do you get to the Olympics? And I don't think he fucking plays lacrosse at all, really, except in those like random international tournaments, maybe once a year. Maybe lose a lot of respect for Olympians, knowing that like fucking Malasek can make it. Like good for him, but like God, I thought all these people had to dedicate their lives to it, not just fucking work at Barstool and like go play lacrosse goalie once a year, and then you end up going to the Olympics for that. Malasek's going to be the only person to ever enter the Olympic Village and not fuck.
They don't allow dogs.
Yeah, they don't. God, man, yeah, no, Malasek can't be fucking his dog because that's a liability. Speaking of liabilities, are you still considered the biggest one at the company?
Probably. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I've gotten older, and maybe someone else is taking over that title. I don't know who it would be. Maybe Dukes or something. Even Dukes is getting a little older and calming down a little bit. But yeah, I used to. That is a quote from like I think I was on Marina's bachelorette party because I was one of her bridesmaids, and they were on the yak, and Dave was talking about because he like we went to Miami and he hooked up like all the clubs and everything in Miami for the bachelorette party, and they were on like the yak or something talking about it. And he was talking about the crew that Marina had down there, because like obviously you wouldn't expect me to be on Marina's bachelorette party, and then like Mikey Fowler was on it too, and they were talking about that and just how funny the crew was. And Dave, like when he mentioned me, he said like Greer like biggest liability, and then Big Cat said like 7 feet tall. So that's where my bio came from, was their description of me on the yak that day, which I found flattering. But I don't think it was meant to be flattering, but I found it funny and flattering, so I made it my bio.
Yeah, no, it's
Now-
a hell of a spin zone.
Now you're asking
Yeah.
who should the liability should have been, because you're
Yeah.
thinking it's Dukes now, which is. I mean, I will
Dukes
say
is-
something.
Who's crutching around the office now? He
Crutching again?
he broke his ankle or whatever last year before he was running the marathon, and this
Yeah.
year he ended up with a stress fracture. So
No,
he's third time's a charm. Hopefully next year.
he was just on this show telling us he was going to do it. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, just don't do it. My sister tore her ACL and she's doing the same shit. She's going to get hurt again. And look what
Yeah.
happened. No way. I can't believe he actually got hurt.
Yeah.
That sucks.
At least the
tough.
ankle
Mad at me
thing
too.
was kind of a freak accident in that alumni lacrosse game. So it's like you can't blame it on the training, but like he got injured, like pounding the pavement training for this fucking marathon. It's like I don't know if I'd do that shit anymore. If I got hurt just from running a ridiculous distance constantly, I'd give up.
Yeah, because
But Dukes
those are like
different.
lasting injuries too. That's just like tendonitis.
Yeah.
Shin splints. Once you get those are pretty permanent. They suck. So
Yeah,
I don't
I
know why
would-
you want to put yourself through that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, I guess once you sign up, you kind of have the mentality that you just need to do it, and so
Yeah,
he's
true.
gonna try again next year.
I've spent 26 days tweeting a Dana Beers to come on this show by drinking a beer, so I don't have much room to talk about, running right now. So
I'm sure you'll get him. Dana will fucking do it.
I think he's too preoccupied tweeting at Steve Austin. He's still doing that. It's like
true.
it's taking longer than Combs. I don't know. I thought
Stone Cold's probably not gonna fucking see that. Honestly, I'd be surprised if Stone Cold ran any of his shit. Although he tweets out his pictures with his their Instagrams, videos with his chickens or something, right?
Yeah,
I
he
did see
does.
some weird shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
day, it was so windy. He was trying to chug a beer, and the wind was just blowing it away while he's walking down the street.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
So yeah, he's got to be running some of that shit. Yeah, good luck to Dana. Just if you see him, just let him know that he should just come
I
on,
will.
chug a beer. That's all I want. Chug a beer. Just like it was the same rules before we got Pug on the show. The rules was like Pug could just come on and say Pug. Dana could just come on and say Chug, and we'd chug, and it'd be done, and that's it. But it'd be nice to ask him some questions. But if
I'll
not,
tell him it's a nice time and you guys are good hosts, and
Yeah.
and I'm sure he'll stick around for longer than just a chug.
Oh yeah, well I
I got
appreciate
started
it.
with that though, probably if anything, but appreciate
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Stone Cold is actually, of all the people that have come through the office, there's only been, I believe, 2 people that I've made sure to actually meet. One was Stone Cold. I brought him. When I was probably 12 years old for Christmas, I got his book, The Stone Cold Truth, and I got him to sign that.
Oh,
and then
that's
the
awesome.
only other one was Chael Sonnen. Robbie and Jack Mack let me sit in and pretend to be the producer of Spinning Backfist when they interviewed him. I love Chael Sonnen, so we sat in there. I think I got him to sign his book too, if I recall correctly. I might be wrong. Oh, I got him to sign because Buddha Ben loves him too. And
yeah.
Oh, shout out Buddha.
Buddha had me get my sweater signed by him and send it back to him, and then he sent me. Yeah, shout out Buddha Ben. But yeah, it was actually the design on that hat. He had me. It was like his first sweater, and he had Chael sign the Buddha, and then me mail it to him. And he was like, "I got an extra one laying around. I'll send you a different sweater, but I need to get Chael to sign that." So yeah, me and Buddha bonded over our love of Chael Sonnen. I fucking love him. He's so funny.
Yeah. No,
I actually hated Chael Sonnen because he was such a shit talker. I'm more of the show it with your game, not your mouth kind of thing, until I got older and realized if you could back it up, then talk it up, dude. And Chael was unbelievable. I always just thought, I was like, well, he always loses to, Anderson Silva. So why is he talking shit? It's like, well, he should have beat him most of those times, honestly. He's a fucking G, dude. He's so good.
I loved Anderson too. And then when Chael went to YouTube, I started watching his YouTube videos, and he's so fucking funny on those that I just became a massive fan after his fighting career. Honestly, he just
really?
Sometimes he just acts really stupid, like he doesn't know certain things, but he does, and it just cracks me up. He's so funny, and yeah, shout out Robbie and Jack. They knew I loved him, and they were like, yeah, just go sit in the producer's chair, even though you're literally not doing anything. We just press record and it goes. And so I was just sitting there, just smiling ear to ear, listening to Chael talk shit. Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, he became way more of a character after his career too. When he did more the announcing and all the commentating and stuff, he was so good at that because he was so good at talking shit that to just talk about other people then and be able to speak his mind. I mean, he's great.
I think the first time I heard him was when I think he sat down with the dog walk when that was still going too.
Did he was on the dog walk?
It was either dog walk or the one they all do together, because I know sometimes the dog walk's just Eddie, but no, he sat down with the Chicago guys for sure. If I'm thinking of it, right,
no way, I didn't know that. I'll have to go back and check that out. It was probably all at the same time, honestly.
Yeah,
he was doing his rounds for Bellator or something.
Car wash,
yeah, I think so. There's something like that. Yeah, there was a Bellator thing coming up, but no, he was definitely with the Chicago guys at some point. But yeah, that's what the first time I heard him, and I was like, damn, this guy's interesting as fuck. You never know which way he's going. Like, he'll flip it on you.
Yeah, he's very funny. He's got a book that I found very funny too. I read his. Him and Forrest Griffin had no. I only read people like Stone Cold and Chael Sonnen. Like, I'm not reading anything too intellectual. But if Stone Cold or Chael Sonnen writes a book, I'll read it. And yeah, Chael's is very funny. Chael's is very funny. He got into like some legal trouble or something one time with some like real estate stuff when he was like running for Oregon politics. People probably didn't like that he was doing that. It's at least the way he describes it, he kind of got fucked by people, probably because he was barking up the wrong trees in Oregon politics. So he got I don't think he went to jail, but basically, yeah.
Yeah, he did. I don't have any, I think the liability question was my last question. Frankie, I don't think you have a game or nothing tonight, but I just want to say thanks for coming on, man. Like, it's been an awesome interview. Talked for over an hour. I don't know what time I got here, maybe like 10 minutes in, but over an hour. This was awesome. Thanks a lot and big shout out to Tom for putting out the good word for us. But yeah, thanks a lot.
He did. He couldn't have spoken higher of you guys. So it was great. Thanks for having me.
It's the Barstool Breakdown. Go ahead and give it to me. Breakdown. Let's listen to those guys.